Hey Chat-GPT, how do I make a game?
How do you make a game? To make a game.
Shit, I don't know. As a matter of fact, what do you think coming here with your broke-ass free tier asking me how to make a game?
Chill. Гладить свои лапки, я буду говорить, что у меня все в порядке. В среднем человек в день может врать до 200 000 раз. Вот и я солгу сейчас, а потом ты уйдешь, а я останусь. Станет странное сердце бестолковое усталостью. Я буду бояться остаться один на один с этой комнатой цветных пелерин, тобою связанных на мне пелерин.
Okay, so how does one actually make a game? Bing bang boom, I don't know. Just kidding, I know. But first, before we answer that, we need to ask ourselves something else. First, we need to ask, what makes a game? Video games are a mixture of art and science. Like you add some art and you add some science and you mix it up real good and boom, you got a game. But when you go deep, like you go in the very essence of a video game, you find these 5 core principles. They're like the infinity stones of game making. But me, I call them the 5 pillars. Wait, this frame is so ass. Now that's better. The first pillar is blueprint, game design and core loop. Okay, let's pick a game. Let's say Portal, which was played by at least 7 people, and low-key an inspiration for Enlighten. If you were to explain to someone what do you do in the game Portal, you will say something like, well, you get these cool-ass portal guns and shoot portals everywhere and solve puzzles. You just explain what is called in the hood as the core gameplay loop. Of the Portal. Core gameplay loop is something that is repeated in the game as, I don't know, the core gameplay. Now what would the core gameplay loop of Enlighten be? Well, come here, let me show you. But wait, before that, we need to go over the vibe pillar. Hey Chat-GPT, explain the vibe.
Sure.
Imagine being lost in a huge building, wanting to get out. You don't feel any near danger, but you get that feeling in your stomach. You are alone, but you don't feel alone. While the lights are still on, you don't mind taking a walk, enjoying the current calmness and mystery.
Thanks Chat-GPT. Enlighten is a puzzle horror, so the vibe isn't going to be all rainbows and sunshine, but I want the horror aspect to be much less than one would expect. Basically just sprinkle some horror here and there. Most of the environment would be well lit. You'd feel safe with some feeling of uneasiness. Like I'm chill, but you know, I kinda wanna just get the fuck out. But all of a sudden, that same well-lit safe place would turn dark and dangerous. So a big technical requirement would be real-time lighting, which we'll get to later. Just wait bro, we'll get to it later. The art style and overall aesthetic is clean, kinda minimalistic look, considering the fact that I'm just solo bro. Like, what you want me to do? I'm just me. So I can't get over detail. Alright, now we can get back to the core gameplay loop. Psych! Games have different feels. No shit, Titanfall has a fast pace, while Rainbow Six has much slower and grounded feeling. But how's playing Enlighten going to feel? It's kinda like Bioshock. It's not going to feel as slow as Rainbow, but you ain't a Spider-Man in it either. There's a big platformer vibe to it too. You know, jumping around and shit. It's like if Portal and Bioshock had a baby, and that baby was made with Unity. Basically, this is how the project started. You all have seen Raytracing, right? It's some cool stuff. you get real-time lighting in price of your FPS. But most games really don't need it. You can even see in games like Cyberpunk, deactivating it doesn't fuck up the game, like the game runs fine. It's like a new technology that most game developers don't really need to use it, but they do it. It makes development easier. It gives you real-time lighting and causes Nvidia stock to go up. Then I ask myself this, what if ray tracing was actually part of the core gameplay? One that the game couldn't even function without it. To truly use this technology in a way to create a new experience. And the core gameplay mechanic of Enlighten was born. See? Come here. You have these powers in the game. The main one is light manipulation. You can suck up any light source in the game and then boom, shoot it back somewhere else or to another light source, like a light bulb or something. And this can only be done when the entire game is running real-time lighting, like the game is built on this technology. Imagine any light you see, you can just fuck it up. And as I said before, the entire place can just suddenly go dark too. Isn't that cool? Come on. The other power is teleportation. Just choose a place, it's where you currently are standing, and you plant some kind of a teleportation seed there. Then later, you can just boom, jump back to that place. And as you progress through the game, you slowly unlock more powers. But with just combining these two and adding some creativity to the mix, you can come up with some puzzles. Like I mean puzzles, bro. Shit would take some time to solve. Alright, naturally after the player mechanics comes the core gameplay stage. So what's the story? Who are the characters? Enlighten takes the "you finally awake" approach. You wake up, you don't know shit, and bit by bit the story gets revealed. I'm also looking to include some environmental storytelling in it too, and avoid telling and do more showing, like show the story. As for the characters, we have some kind of a spiritual entity which is always with you as a voice accompanying you along the way, like basically just yapping along the game. And we have kids, which currently ain't doing shit. And she's my profile picture. And she's the thumbnail. And she's important. Just not yet. Because it's hard to make the character, bro. Come on. And at last, we have this thing I'm currently calling the Beast. It's not always roaming around the map, but when it does, you know it's coming for your ass, so you better hide. And there's you, the player, not knowing what the fuck is going on, having amnesia, like in Amnesia, you know the game PewDiePie used to play. You have these random ass powers, solving random ass puzzles, trying to figure shit out, with the only guidance being the yapper voice. These are what I have cooked up so far, and just trust the process. They'll all tie together in the lore. But as I said, the lore slowly gets revealed as the game goes on. Finally, we can go over the... Now that all the pieces are in place, we can go back to this shit. The core gameplay loop. You see, there's this thing in games called the tension plot. It's something like this. In some places it goes up, and in some places it goes down. It shouldn't be all tense or always easy, or the game gets too boring. And it shouldn't just repeat itself. The game gets too predictable. The core gameplay loop has a lot of influence on this plot, since it's the core gameplay of the game. Now get ready. This is the core gameplay loop of Enlighten. It starts chill, you know, you're solving some puzzles here and there in an open environment, and then boom, the power goes out. It's all dark and shit. All the lights turn off, and that fuck-ass beast gets released. Damn, I'm a rapper. Now the tension rises. In this stage, the player, you know you, has to activate all the power stations around the map to get the power back on. And when you do it, the light comes back, the beast fucks off into a hole, and you can get back to solving the puzzles. But here's the catch. You only have a limited time until the next power outage. Like, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. And this shit makes kind of a loop, like a cycle. Now this alone is a great base for the tension plot. But in order to prevent it from getting, like, predictable, we have to add unexpected elements to it throughout the game. This is the core gameplay loop of Enlighten in the start of the game I've cooked up so far. And to make it all possible, we have to choose a tech stack. And that brings us to the final pillar, the engine room. Unity, Unreal, Godot. These are basically the main options for using a game engine today in 2025 or soon to be 2026. This devlog took too long. Or you can go the I'm gonna write my own engine way, which just doesn't make sense for me. You know, I'm just one person. The fuck am I gonna do? Make Enlighten in the next 15 years? Out of these options, considering the fact that Enlighten has ray tracing and good ass graphics, I chose Unreal Unity because of my background in it. Did I make a mistake? Of course. I mean, I don't know. Unity has some good ass GI aka global illumination tech, but it clearly lags behind Unreal Engine in this field. A little challenge makes it more interesting. The programming language is C#. Fuck. And for animations and 3D modeling, I went with Blender. No, this Blender. The donut blender, where everyone is making donuts. And some honorable mentions are... And with all these, you know what I did? I started making Enlighten.
My dog, cause I can't afford to stay. My 15 seconds up, but I got more to say. That's enough, Mr. West, please, no more today. Here we go again. Everybody saying what's not for him, but everything I'm not made me everything I am. Damn. Here we go again. People talking shit, but when the shit hit the fan, everything I'm not made me everything I am.
Telling you, this shit took way too long, but the next one won't. Hopefully. Tell them Chat-GPT, tell them what to do.
Okay, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification right now!